Namaste, and welcome to the Savitri series, part 13, from Mother. And to Theon, the god of the Jews and Christians, was an Asura. This Asura wanted to be unique, and so he became the most terrible despot imaginable. Anatole France said the same thing. I now know that Anatole France had never read Theon's story, but I can't imagine where he picked this up. It's in the Revolt of the Angels. He says that Satan is the true God, and that Jehovah, the, quote, only God, end quote, is the monster. And when the angels wanted Satan to become the one and only God, Satan realized he was immediately taking on all Jehovah's failings. So he refused. Oh no, thank you very much. It's a wonderful story, and in exactly the same spirit as what Theon used to say. The very first thing I asked Anatole France, I told you I met him once. Mutual friends introduced us. The first thing I asked him was, have you ever read The Tradition? He said no. I explained why I had asked, and he was interested. He said his source was his own imagination. He had caught that idea intuitively. Well, if you speak this way to philosophers and metaphysicians, they'll look at you as if to say, you must be a real simpleton to believe all that claptrap. But these things are not to be taken as concrete truths. They are simply splendid images. Through them, I really did come into contact very completely with the truth of what caused the world's distortion. Much better than with all the Hindu stories, far more easily. Buddhism and all similar lines of thought took the shortest path. The desire to exist is what has caused all the trouble. If the Lord had refrained from having this desire, there would have been no world. It's childish, very childish. Really, a much too human way of looking at the problem. To see of delight of being is quantitatively far superior. But then there's still the problem of why it all became the way it is. The usual reply is, because all things were possible, and this is one possibility. But it's not a very satisfying feeling. Yes, all right, that's just the way it is. It's a fact. People used to ask Theon too, why did it happen like this? Why? Wait till you get to the other side, then you will know. And meanwhile, do what's necessary to get there. That's the most urgent thing. But there is one advantage. Without these beings, Without the world's distortion, many things would be lacking. These beings potentially embodied certain absolutely unique elements, understandably so, since they were the first wave, and precisely because they still were the supreme to such a great extent. Each one felt he was the supreme, and that was that. Only it wasn't quite sufficient, for the simple reason that they were already divided into four, and one single division is enough to make everything go wrong. It's readily understandable. It's not something essentially evil, but a question of wrong functioning. It's not the substance, not the essence. The essence isn't evil, but the functioning is faulty. 3rd February 1962. Besides, if you remember the beginning of Savitri, I read it only recently. I hadn't known it. In the 2nd canto, speaking of Savitri, he says she has come, to put it poetically, of course, to laughing, kick out all the rules, all the taboos, the rules, the fixed laws, all the closed doors, all the impossibilities, to undo it all. I went one better. I didn't even know the rules, so I didn't need to fight them. All I had to do was ignore them, so that they didn't exist. That was even better. But now I have first to undo and then redo. A sheer waste of time. 17 February 1962. Namaste.